guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for minding your business, because I was minding mine. And yeah, you came back to see what's going on. So, I've already had my baby. So this is going to be a labor and delivery story time on my experience and what went on, what happened, why y'all didn't get to see what I packed in my hospital bag, and things like that. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I read all of y'all comments, and keep subscribing because I've gained a lot of subscribers in the past month. So don't forget to keep subscribing. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed, then what are you doing? You might as well subscribe because you like what you see. You like all the content. So just subscribe for me. My due date was March 8th. I had my baby February 27th. I started laboring February 26th at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was having like period cramp like contractions, and I was sleeping that whole day. Like I basically slept through all of the contractions that I was having until about 6 and 7. My contractions started picking up, and they were pretty strong, and they hurt pretty bad. And by the time 8 o'clock came around, I was having real back-to-back fast contractions. Like I was having 2 contractions within 1 minute, no lie. Because the first one would last at least 30 seconds. Then the next one was coming right behind it. And then I wouldn't have another contraction until about 3 minutes later. But they were pretty fast, and they were very painful. So that night, I got up. After I was asleep all day, I got up. I sat in the tub for a little while. And then I sat in the tub for maybe about an hour. So I got in there about 7. I stayed in there until about 8:45. And then I got out and I finished packing my hospital bag. So I had to add everything in my hospital bag that I needed. Like basically what I packed and what I think you should pack is pajamas and your own pads if you want, and your own kind of like compression underwear. And then, yeah, toothbrush, washcloth, towel, soap, toothpaste. All of those things is what you should pack in your bag. So I ended up forgetting a towel and a washcloth. And yeah, I forgot. I was just moving fast. All my baby's bag was packed, and I just needed to pack myself to get ready to go. And I took my own breast pump. So yeah. At 9 o'clock, I was on the way. Well, me and my boyfriend were on the way to the hospital because I just knew I was dilated. Like, I went to the doctor that Thursday, and I wasn't dilated at all. But how fast my contractions were happening and how I had just been laboring literally all day long, I just knew that I was dilated. So 9 o'clock, I'm like, okay, come on, let's go. Like, we gonna go to the hospital. Like, check me in. Like, I know I'm about to have my baby. Like, these contractions shouldn't hurt this bad. So they checked me in. They put the monitors on my stomach to check the baby's heart rate and all that stuff like that. And they, of course, did all the tests to see, like, if my water was broke. My water wasn't broke. But I was bleeding. Like, I felt like I was losing my mucus plug, because at the house I had seen a little bit, like when I wiped, and it was brown. But I wasn't bleeding at home. But that was the only time I saw brown blood. So then when I got there, they checked me. They did like the little Q-tip swab that they do to see if your water is broke. My water was not broke, but I was bleeding. Then they checked my cervix to see if I'm dilated. I wasn't even dilated a centimeter. I wasn't dilated a half a centimeter. Nothing. I wasn't dilated. I was starting to open up. So They let me stay there for an hour. They monitored me to see if I was going to get any better. So my baby's heart rate wasn't doing well the whole time. Like, it just wasn't steady, and it just, like, I don't know if she was sleeping or what the case was, but they ended up giving me fluids. They gave me IV fluids, and then when they gave me the fluids, her heart rate and everything started regulating, and she was fine. My contractions were still coming hard and heavy, and I was bleeding, and they sent me in for an emergency ultrasound. I got the ultrasound basically to check on the baby, to see how the baby's moving, to see what's going on with the baby, and everything came back fine, supposedly. While I was at the ultrasound, I was in excruciating pain. I'm talking about, I'm in tears. I'm screaming, I'm crying, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I can't even lay down, basically, to let the lady do the ultrasound. So they send the people down for the triage, and I was 1 centimeter dilated. My boyfriend said he heard them say they're glad they didn't send me home because my baby was sunny side up. So normally when they're coming through the birthing canal, this is the back of her head. So her, my hand, this is her face that's up. Normally they're supposed to be down like this, the back of their head, and they're supposed to come out like this. She came out like this. So they was like, well, so he was like, he figured they were talking about me. But not to mention, when I came back from my ultrasound, she told me she was going to give me something that was going to make me feel better. She gave me some medicine. Y'all, I don't remember anything. Like, when I tell y'all, I don't remember nothing. I don't remember nothing until probably like later on, after I had the baby. So I don't remember anything, nothing at all. I just know I kept crying and I was asking for pain medicine, but the medicine had me so in and out, I could barely even answer questions. Like, I couldn't even focus on what was really going on. So it would be like they would be talking to me, I couldn't focus on what was going on, and my boyfriend would be like, Jade, and I'd be like, huh, what? So I would wake up for a little while, but shit, and the medicine starts to wear off. It's like coming down a little bit. I'm coming down a little bit. I just feel pain. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. So they come and check me, and I'm 4 centimeters. So they go ahead and switch me from the triage to labor and delivery. At this point in time, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Not to mention, after that lady gave me that medicine that she said was gonna make me feel better, my baby's heart rate was not doing good after she gave me that medicine. Like, she was no longer able to regulate her, and I was asking, like, can I get more pain medicine, because I was in excruciating pain. And she was like, no, because your baby's heart rate isn't doing well. Not to mention, I feel like she gave me too much of the medicine because I was getting on her nerves, because I was not supposed to be drowsy like that. Like, I was out of it. Like, I felt like I was under anesthesia, no lie. Basically, when I switched, go to labor and delivery, my baby's heart rate wasn't doing well, so my night nurse ends up turning me on my side, and she had like pillows propped on me because my baby was heavy, so I always had to sleep on top of a pillow. I couldn't lay flat on my back because I couldn't breathe, so I always had to lay on my side on the pillow because my baby would be balled up, so it would be like she's laying on the pillow too. So then her heart rate starts to regulate. Before my night nurse left for the night, I had got an epidural. So when the heart rate started doing bad and my night nurse started to turn me on my side, I was telling her, like, wait, because my epidural was shifting. So I'm like, wait, I think it's messing up. I think it's messing up. So she was like, no, it's not messing up. Okay. So by the time she left, maybe an hour later, when you get an epidural, your whole body from the waist down feels numb. I kid y'all not, an hour later, I was numb on my right side of my body, but the left side of my body was in excruciating pain. Like, I'm talking about, I was so uncomfortable. It wasn't contractions kind of pain. It was a different kind of pain that I was feeling. Like, I can't even describe to y'all the pain. I was in excruciating pain. Like, I was in tears. And my morning nurse kept trying to shift me and move me and putting me in all these uncomfortable positions. And I'm like, I cannot sit like that. I'm telling you that I'm in pain. Like, what are you doing? So the charge nurse over the floor ends up coming in the room because she was like, what's going on with her? Like, my baby's heart rate was dropping. So this is why my morning nurse was trying to like position me and sit me up and turn me and doing all this stuff. And she was trying to make me lay on my back. And I kept telling her, like, I cannot lay on my back. I can't breathe. Even with the oxygen, I can't breathe on my back. So I'm like, no, I can't lay like this. Like, fix me, turn me another way. So my baby's heart rate is dropping. So the nurse tells me, I'm not worried about you right now. I'm worried about your baby and her heart rate. Like, what the? I'm in pain. So me being in pain, you're putting me in distress, which is putting my baby in distress as well. So doctor ended up coming in and she was like, she checked me. I was 7 centimeters. No, I was like 6.5, almost 7 centimeters. And then she realized my water wasn't broke. So she went ahead and broke my water. When she broke my water, she realized that my baby had pooped inside of me, which means she's in distress. So, they were all in there, you know, trying to turn me, because they were trying to regulate her heart rate. So that's why she went ahead and broke my water. She thought that would help her. It helped her a little bit, but then her heart rate was still dropping. My heart rate is shooting up. So the charge nurse is in the room at this point, and I'm telling her, like, I need pillows, because they had me on my side. I'm like, I need pillows because she's heavy, you know. They wasn't trying to give me no pillow. So when the charge nurse came in, she just left out and was like, she's asking for a pillow. Like, y'all, go get her a pillow. So she ends up going to go get me a pillow. I lay on top of the pillow. It kind of helped for like 2 minutes. The charge nurse was like, I'm about to call it for you to get a C-section. I'm going to come back and check on you in an hour. And then when I check on you in an hour, we're going to decide whether or not you're going to push your baby out or you're going to get a C-section. She was like, you're dilating. Your contractions are coming way too fast and way too strong for you to be dilating as slow as you are. And check me, I'm 7 centimeters. So within her saying all of this stuff, literally a minute later, she was like, nope. Get her ready. She's going in for a C-section. We're taking her in for a C-section. My baby's heart rate was dropping low, y'all. I'm talking about like dropping like 30, 50. Like her heart rate was low, and then it would go up, and then it would go low. Like then next thing you know, my heart rate shot all the way up. Like my heart rate is normally 110. My heart rate is normally like 110, 120 over like 76, 90. That's normally what my heart rate is. So my heart rate shot all the way up to 175, and she was like, nope, get her ready, we're sending her in for a C-section. So they send me in for a C-section. They get me all ready. So I ended up having a C-section, guys, at 7 centimeters. Like I boo-hoo cried because I didn't want to have a C-section, but I was like, I have no choice, because like I just feared that something was wrong with my baby, like, and I didn't want to risk, like, God forbid, like me losing my baby due to what's going on. Like that to me was just like, I don't know, it was just, I was already having a bad experience. So I was already having a bad experience, so it was just everything, it was just really bad for me. Like it was really bad, and I was just crying. I just wanted her to be okay. So they numb me up. They take me back to the operating room. My boyfriend gets stressed because, of course, he gets to come in there with me. And not to mention, like, my mom, they were trying to send me home. So my mom was flying in. She was like, she couldn't risk staying home. So she ended up flying in, and she got there. She probably got to the hospital. I was at about 7. So I ended up having my baby at 8:34 a.m. And when they pulled her out, they was like, oh, she's sunny side up. That explains why her heart rate couldn't regulate and why she pooped inside of you. She was supposed to be head down. When they went to stitch me up after they pulled her out, my whole left side of my body, like, they had to numb me 3 times before, you know, they could do my C-section, because the left side of my body would not get numb. So they had to numb me. So once they did the C-section and they were stitching me up, I started feeling them stitching me up. So I'm screaming like, no, I'm in pain. Like, I feel it, ow. Like, I'm screaming and crying, and my boyfriend's like, calm down. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm feeling the needle. Like, I'm feeling them stitching me. So they ended up having to stop what they were doing, numb me again, and then, yeah. So right when they pulled my baby out and everything, she was pooping, and she cried. And when she cried, I cried. I was boo-hoo crying. And then, like, I tried to hold her after that, but I couldn't hold her and let her latch because my arms were so weak because of how numb my body was. So the nurse had to, like, hold her for me and let her latch onto my boob. And then I can give y'all another story time on how everything is going so far and, you know, things like that. But that is my labor and delivery story time. I had a horrible experience at the doctor, and I hope and pray that every mother that's pregnant and is due to have her baby soon has a wonderful experience in the hospital that you choose to have your baby at, because Lord knows I had the worst experience in my life. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It was the worst experience ever, and my boyfriend even agreed that it was the worst experience. Because, you know, sometimes I think I be tripping, and I really had to ask him, like, was I tripping or like what? But he even had to step in sometimes because of how the nurses were speaking to me, like, throughout my whole experience, y'all. Like, if y'all want a story time on how they treated me in the hospital, let me know. I will definitely make a story time on my horrible experience. But, you know, it is what it is. My baby's here. She's healthy. She's fine. She's about to be 2 months on Saturday, guys. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, like... And don't worry about me, worry about you, because I got me and you got you, and that's just motherfucking that on that. We could be my that crew, period. Thanks y'all for tuning in. See you later. See you in the next video.